Hey, Connor. What's up, Biased? Hey, Jeru. All right, let's get going here. Yeah, no kidding, right? That's how it goes sometimes. All right. Let's come up with something new. What do I usually need? Sometimes need. You never know. It's so strange. I mean, you guys can't see, but it's so strange having my desk clear of all of the pieces of the tower. Clear for a new project. All right. March 3rd. It's on the left-hand side, so we have some left-hand D100 magic to kick us off. With a 55. .55 says under the weight. Under the weight. Whatever the heck that means. Under the weight. Under the weight sounds almost like under the water. Under the weight of the water. Falling roof puzzle. You know, that is a lot of new bricks. It's pretty amazing. You guys are awesome. The price of a puzzle. Under the weight, under the weight. I mean, it kind of makes me think of like the old, you know, ceiling coming down, or the door, the big stone door coming down on Indiana Jones, you know, under the weight of it. But under the weight of it all, like the weight of the world, could be something very important. We could have something Monumental, massive, biggest stakes ever. Could be kind of fun. I actually think I like that idea. All right. Sends us spinning off into a particular direction. Let's try it out. Under the weight of the world, under the weight of responsibility, we'll go with, it's all come down to this. To save the day, we must blank. Now for this list, I'm thinking of, in contrast to yesterday, yesterday was Best Intentions, kind of early quest, right? First quest that you could give to a party at the start of a campaign. I think for this one, we go epic. In order to save the day, in order to save the world, the kingdom, whatever the stakes are, less about defeat the monster, more about what is the quest. All right? It's all come down to this. If we don't unseal the blah, 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 you know, end the curse, and maybe it's end the cursed age. Probably is too vague. If we don't like sink what could it be? Sink, how about sink the wizard ship? Let's start with that. That's that I would feel satisfied. That's an epic. Satisfy the god of battle. Something with the gods could be fun. What if we have to... I don't know, for some reason the phrase finally betray the gods sounds nice and epic. I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm not bothered by it. Return the sacred torch, destroy a source of a monster's power. Put out the sacred torch then. Destroy the... So I'm going to combine your two ideas. close the book. What else? Where? Let's think about this. Where I've not ended many campaigns, at least not ones that fully go to the end. So we already have sync. We could maybe like raise the city into the clouds. I know that one of my campaigns will definitely end with them fighting in a castle in the sky. Bribe the DM. Steal the heart. I got it right. I need my arm to do that, Crane. Oh, he's gonna take this out on me. He's gonna attack the stream in the only way he knows how. I know it. Lure the beast. I was thinking of some, yeah, like raising something. To save the day, we must find the city in the clouds. Find the city in the sky. Let's say that. Recover Fate's shears. It's all come down to this. To save the day, we must. So sink, betray, put out the flame, locate something. What's up, Greeth? Greeth, I think. Greeth. Discover the source of the magic. Definitely. I think maybe we combine that with the curse idea. Craft the hero's sword back to the beginning. You're being very distracting. I'm gonna say break the first curse. Sometimes you have to destroy a monster. Oftentimes that's how a campaign's going to end. Maybe it's not one monster, maybe it's a series of them. Could be about where the monster is located. It could be ooh, I like Seal Away the Legion. Good one. Hey, cool kid, is an encounter part of the storyline? No, this is all just for fun. This is detached from anything. We're gonna come up with 2 tables, and then we roll them together, and I think it tends to generate fun new ideas, but there's no prerequisites at all. Nobody has to know anything about this to hopefully have fun with it. It's almost a it's like this kind of fun combination of ideation and improv, because once we start rolling, it's like, how do we make these ideas fit together? So it's kind of just good practice. Gather enough food for a giant, forsake the oath. How about defeat the giants? Defeat the last giants? That'd be kind of sad. Performance base, learning a lost language. Okay, so maybe it's about speak the forgotten words, maybe. Translate the forgotten words. All right, I think I have a fun twist. It's all come down to this. To save the day, we must do one of these epic things. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the blank. So, haha, we were villains the whole time. So we've just made a list of things that we're going to sort of redraw as evil plots, but forget all of that. So now, with this second list, the question is, what is a final MacGuffin? What's the last? Well, I got myself because I didn't come up with that until right then, but it works. What is the final MacGuffin of the campaign that's needed to stop the villains and whatever their horrible plan is? Could be a weapon, it could be knowledge, it could be a person, it could be a location, could be anything. Spell. So, unless those damned heroes stop us by finding... And I'm going to lean probably away from names, even though sometimes names work, but oftentimes it's going to be the description of find the DM's notes. How about the golden sword? I think, like, what's another twist on navigation? Because it's easy to say map. I know in the past we've done compass. Maybe something like, maybe like seeking stones. How about finding the seeking stones? Whatever the heck those are. I like star charts too. Oh, leverage on the nobility. So unless the heroes stop us by finding, like, the blessing of the king. Slash crown. Crown's probably, I need to start using crown. I think that's better. Horribly impractical ritual dagger. Well, could certainly be like the blacksmith. Like maybe it's the how about finding the blacksmith responsible. Got to deal with a bully? Make friends with a bigger bully. The bone key? How about the living key? Finding the way home. I like that. Finding the old gods. The golem's core. Okay, let's see here. Finding the golden sword, the seeking stones, the blessing of the king, the blacksmith responsible, the living key. Okay, I like, let's do golems. Yeah, the golem's missing core. I like that. What's up, Hughes? Welcome to the stream. The The magnificent magic magnifier. I mean, I can always go for a Lens of Truth reference. I'm a bit of a Zelda fan, so if it wasn't the Lens of Truth, it could be like the Eyeglass of Eternity. That's the most end-stage MacGuffin-sounding item ever. If I could find the memories we stole, I do like that. Let's combine that with the idea of the gods from before, from earlier. The gods' missing memories. Hey, Construct. Hey, they'll be good ones. Hughes, the Hourglass of Fate. I like that idea. All right, we got our tables. Let's roll these. See if we have anything halfway decent. I think we will. It's all come down to this. To save the day, we must finally betray the gods. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the living key. Okay, so betraying the gods is the villain's goal, and the living key is necessary. I mean, this feels like playing with some ancestry stuff. Like the living key is a person. It's somebody, or maybe one of a lineage that's necessary to like access sort of the what do you call it? The celestial grounds, the celestial council. And perhaps the villains are secure in this because they are like, I'm the last living member of this lineage, but you know, if the party can track down somebody and find another living key, then they could join and stop them. I like that. It's kind of fun. I love Fifth Element. Should rewatch that again. Talk about crazy, interesting world building. 3 and 3. It's all come down to this. To save the day, we must put out the sacred torch. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the blessing of the king. To put out the sacred torch, but the heroes need the blessing of the king. So this feels like, it could be the blessing, could be something missing, or it could be a the king has been tricked, right? It could be to convince the king of what's really going on. It could be a big conspiracy. If it was a MacGuffin, the blessing of the king, if we capitalized all of those letters, I mean, maybe it's if we're talking about a sacred torch, I don't imagine this would be a singular torch. I imagine the torches would be everywhere. And the idea is that these, maybe the lore goes, or the world, the legend is that this is sort of what keeps the world afloat in the sky. And so by putting them all out, something catastrophic will happen, and it's only the quote unquote like the blessing of the king is what initially ignited all of them, but nobody believes that item actually exists. Could the blessing of the king, some kind of holy parchment with divine writings? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it could even be a particular spell, right? Now I'm leaning into, one of my campaigns is built around this idea of there being protective shrines that different groups are trying to either light to sort of bless the world or to sort of curse and sort of condemn the world. And that happens with a couple of different spells that the party and others are aware of. So I think that kind of idea works super well. It's also great because it gives everybody a reason to like go lots of different places and explore the world. It's all come down to this, 5 and 6. To save the day, we must break the first curse. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the golem's missing core. Boy, this one's got so many ideas in it. Hey, don't knock a free plushie. I mean, that'll get people. I'll keep them in the market square. Maybe they'll pick up a couple of items. Commerce and whatnot. So the first curse would have to be. It has to be tied to some sort of like history. The origin of a region or of a world. Like this is the religion of a culture. The first curse would have to do with. It would have to be like some particular interpretation of an agreement, let's say. So like the first curse might be how like the underworld views the deal that was made, the tenuous deal that was made with like the mortal realm. And it's like, yeah, it was an agreement, like you stay there, we'll stay here, but really they view it as the curse that damned them all to whatever plane they exist on. And the golem's missing core could be as simple as the original sort of spirit of the gods that sort of protected one plane, or maybe the golem is sort of the pathway. Like they've broken the seal, they've broken and opened the bridge that kind of the underworld into the mortal and back and forth. But if they can reignite the golem, if they can start that engine back up again, they can close it. Oh, what's up, Eli? I'm glad you made it to another round. The golem would be used to help with breaking the curse physical mechanism. For the first curse binds a kaiju, the golem's core, big robot, Godzilla. Godzilla versus Mecha. Nice. Let's do 4 is good, and 7. It all comes down to this. To save the day, we must find the city in the sky. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the eyeglass of eternity. All right, so the villain is looking to find the city in the sky. I mean, is this like Ultron's plan? If we can drop the city in the sky, we can get a whole new restart. Like we can bring, this is the sacred city, right? And we're gonna drop it. The eyeglass of eternity. feels like, I mean, it could just be like a weapon, right? Or maybe a it's like it augments weapons. Maybe it augments. Ooh, you know what it is? It is augmenting sight. It will help the party actually see the hidden threat. Like the eyeglasses themselves will allow them to see the true form. So I would potentially play up like the mysterious threat, or like the threat hidden in plain sight. I like that idea of the sacrifice for the golem. That kind of reminds me of Thor in Infinity War. Kind of restarting a star. Such a cool idea. Couple of 8s. It all came down to this. To save the day, we must translate the forgotten words, or the lost words, I think I wrote. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the gods' missing memories. Yeah, I'll pull that up, Construct, yeah. So the forgotten words, translating those, that marrying with the gods' missing memories is too good to not like lean into. It almost fits together too well. So what if there was this idea that the forgotten, this like ancient language, like I'm imagining reality tied together with like the ultimate MacGuffin. Like there's this phrase or there's these symbols that nobody's ever been able to translate. And if you can access them directly, if you can enter sort of the ancient vault, or if you can visit the planar binding whatever location, and you can change, it's almost like changing the central code. It's like, could you just if you change that forgotten idea, that phrase, if you translate it yourself, it could ripple through and change everything. And the only hope for preventing that is by the party finding the gods' missing memories. If they could find actually what it originally was, like it's literally like we're gonna fight this false idea with the actual true idea. Well, how do you find out what it actually was? And maybe there's some fun sort of like time travel involved or something. That would be neat. See, these ideas are why I love this process, because I would never sit down and just like have that idea. Cool Kid, how do you get your players to pay attention? Depending on how you mean. If you're talking about just like basic levels of paying attention, I mean, I talk to them about it. And if they're not into it, they're not into it. Find a group that's into it, right? One of my first campaigns I ever tried to run, I kind of got the vibe. I was like, hey guys, what if we just stopped? And I went and found a group that was actually interested in D&D. So, you know, sometimes it's easier to find a good group fit than it is to try to force something if the game's not there. Could do a 6 and a 2. It's all come down to this. To save the day, we must seal away the Legion. Seal away the Legion. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding seeking stones. Hughes, I like that interpretation for sure. So to seal away the Legion, unless the heroes find us by finding the seeking stone. This almost actually suggests a longer game plan to me than one that is actually at the end. Like, why would we seal it? Let's assume it's not sealing away. Like the Legion sort of suggests a negative, right? The Legion is probably part of bad forces, big bad forces. Let's assume that by sealing away the Legion, they will grow stronger, and they will return when the seal is broken at a time when, something terrible can happen. And the Seeking Stones are necessary to sort of find and sort of reseal, right? The seal's going to break down over time, but obviously we don't want them to be sealed away forever, just for the right amount of time. The Legion is a single person that can be an entire army on their own. I like it. Cool Kid, how do you make your own encounter? Just, it's a good question. And I think answering that question is what we all spend years enjoying. Like, this is why it's fun to be a dungeon master, because how do you make an encounter? I don't think that there aren't many wrong answers. I think one of the, and you can take inspiration from anywhere. In its simplest form, there's need to be a couple of different kind of factions involved, right? Presumably your party is there and they want something to happen, but something else is happening, or maybe somebody else is there and wants a different thing to happen, and they clash. Get a cat, they'll create your encounter for you. But it really depends. I mean, context is everything. It's why every single encounter can be totally unique. But it's not about stats. It's not about monster stat blocks. It's not about miniatures or terrain. An encounter is just an interesting idea where somebody at the table, hopefully everybody, goes, ooh, I have an idea, right? If the players need to get into the hideout and there are 2 guards out front that are guarding the entrance, that's an encounter. Let's see what they do, right? And in that case, the players get to sort of make the first move. Sometimes the players don't get to make the first move. Sometimes they're the ones being reactive, right? Other times it's fun to give them kind of all the options and see what they put together. Hughes, if you remember playing Chrono Trigger back then, you could set the Moonstone on the shrine back 65 meters and then travel 40 at the sun. Oh yeah, that's right. Could be a similar mechanic. The Seeking Stone could like maybe the Legion will, maybe it's the Legion that uses the Seeking Stone, and if it's placed someplace that like has it marching off into the ocean, or like off into the void, as we like to say. Just paying attention to Crane because I don't want him to like launch himself onto the table. Like, he can hang out here, but I could just see him like dive bombing any. Okay, he's just gonna sit. That's okay. You can sit. I don't mind. Just don't destroy. And I think that takes us. We've got 1, 7, and 1, 4. 1, 7, 1, 4. Got a 1. And a 7. 7 and 1. It all comes down to this. To save the day, we must defeat the last giants. How sad. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the golden sword. I mean, the golden sword can be about arming, equipping the giants, but yeah, it being very large would be certainly a more epic MacGuffin. I also think Golden Sword, there's probably some way to connect it to the idea of like completing a statue. Because like, let's say that there's like a gold statue, but it's missing a piece, and that piece stolen away is what's preventing fully understanding maybe the giant's own history, something that's being used against them, something like that. And I think the last combination, it's all come down to this. To save the day, we must sink the wizard's ship. Unless those damned heroes stop us by finding the blacksmith responsible. The Golden Sword is a flying ship. That's a good idea. When all else fails, it's the name of something, right? The wizard's ship. The blacksmith responsible. Well, how about in this case, the blacksmith and the wizard are one and the same. And the wizard's ship is sinking it. This almost feels like taking something that is meant to protect everyone and turning it against them. So imagine there's this advanced flying arcane ship that basically is some sort of protective measure, but if they can sink it and turn those weapons, turn that magic against everyone, and finding the blacksmith responsible in this case is like actually speaking to perhaps the dead wizard that made it and figuring out how to counteract that. Siamese brothers separated at birth. I mean, yeah. I think there's a couple different directions to go with that one, but that's neat. That was fun. That was unexpected. I didn't know when we started that it was going to be the villain's plan we were thwarting, but I like that. I like that reversal. Good stuff. And hey, look at that. With like 10 minutes to spare, still counts as the daily. Love it. Well, cool. Well, it's fun to see new folks joining in. I appreciate all of the great ideas. Try to do this every day. Usually in the morning. Lately, not so much, but hey, we do what we can. And we also have community. Not to say these aren't community, the ones that I write in here, but we also have scrolling up to find it. We have tables that are put together on a weekly basis in the Discord, which I'm sure someone will link up. I'm gonna pull up most recent one here called Glowing Skull. Do a quick roll on that. Looks like it's a D8 and a D12. D8 and it's the one dice, the one die I didn't have. There we go. Thanks, Construct. All right, so the Glowing Skull. The people of the land knew the giant glowing skull falling from the sky was a sign of the coming of the Outer Ones. They had been trained their entire life by the legendary Chaos Lord for it. Okay, so this is another villain plot. This is clearly a cult. The people of the land knew that the giant glowing skull falling from the sky was a sign of the coming of the Outer Ones, so some sort of eldritch or like, interstellar creatures. And they've been trained their entire life by the legendary Chaos Lord for the honor, for the privilege of greeting it. Nice. It's a good one. And let me see. Also, happy to call out the supporter tower over here, full of names of people who support the channel. People's names go on bricks. You can get your own on the tower now that it exists, which is very exciting. Just got that put up a couple of days ago, actually, literally yesterday. Also, I have zines available on my shop. Working on more at the moment, actually. And the zine is basically full of polished ideas taken from exactly these streams, these tables. They're mostly like D12 tables, multiple with different ways of using them. A lot of fun. Do check those out if you want. So they're a fun way to support me, support the channel, which is still growing, getting closer to 100K, which is exciting. I think that'll do it. Thanks, everybody. Hope you've had a great start to the week. I guess we're in midweek now. It's real. It's serious. Look forward to catching you guys tomorrow. I think I've got some new puzzles that I want to start designing tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be able to do that on stream. Time to blow the dust off of some old projects. So we'll be doing that. If not tomorrow, by the end of this week we will. So cool stuff to look forward to. Gotta get some other streams going again now that we don't have a crafting project to work on. All right. Thanks, everybody. Catch you next time.